I'm Alan Keltner with Armorlok PVC protected linings. I'm going to cut a dog bone, which is a generic term, for a tensiometer sample for ASTM standard D412. I'm cutting this out of parent material. I will now use a template that we have created for our elongation test, which is a 1-inch marking at the center of the pole. We'll now load take our measurements for width. .250. Thickness.
Thickness is 0.85.
Have to load
Put it
first.
in.
Loading the sample into the tensiometer, and I will zero out the machine.
All right, and once the machine is turned on to start pulling for the tensile, we'll hold the ruler to the 1-inch markings for the elongation. The elongation is a required minimum of 200%, so we want to see it get to 3 inches. So go ahead and start, Alan. Take it to the other side. Take it to the other side. So there's 2 inches, 100%. Inches, 200%. That's the minimum we need to hit. So elongation has passed. There's 250, 275 is what we will put down on the test sheet. And we need the gauge again. We have 70. Put that down as the pounds pulled, and then we will calculate out what the PSI is on it. Now we'll go over and now Alan will cut a sample for our well. The sample will be cut across the weld, so we'll be pulling the weld itself.
And the die should be centered up on the weld itself, and again cut perpendicular to the weld.
Shop weld. And once we've got that test sample cut, again we'll go over and we'll measure for the width and the thickness. Thickness will be welded on both sides of the weld because we're going to look for the thinnest point. So there we go. For width is 250 again, which tends to stay fairly consistent. And we've got 081 on one side of the weld. We've got 084 on the other side, so we will record 081 for our test. The shop welds do not have to be tested for elongation, only the parent material. So there will be no markings made on the shop weld for elongation. We're just looking for tensile strength. Make sure we zero out, Alan. Okay, we're zeroed. Now we're ready to test and pull. Okay, we're going to mark down as a 46 for our pounds pulled for our tensile strength.
And we make sure that the weld did not delaminate and it was broken in the parent material.
Okay, our next step is Alan will cut a small sample of the parent material to do a hardness test on. The hardness test on the 1 second needs to be between 50 and 60 on the shorterometer, and then we're 10 seconds, and that's 35 to 50 max. Okay, 54. And 10, let it go. So we've got 48 for the 10 second, and the 1 second was 54. Okay, then we're going to calculate out for our material. This would be our parent material right here, which came out to 32.94. The minimum allowed on the parent material is 2200 psi. The weld calculated out to 2272 for the weld. The weld is required to be a minimum of 2000. Very simple arithmetic on this. You take your tensile strength divided by thickness and width to get to your psi. Works both ways. Mark down for the hardness, and then mark down also for the elongation, which met minimum requirement. And then the hardness was marked down here, 54 for the 1 second, 48 for the 10. Again, 1 second is 50 to 60, and the 10 second is 35 to 50. Met the strengths or the requirements of there. I think that one worked. I think that one was better.